Got it. Just about setting up your meeting for YouTube, done redirecting. Okay, so we're at YouTube. And all right, so what I'm sharing right now is I was in the garage yesterday. Just a second, I have to fix it. Let me get the picture up here. Okay. All right, so I was in the garage cleaning up the garage, and I found my old notebook that I started in 2005 when my horse's feet were getting bigger and bigger and more flared all the time. He was only a 2-year old. And so I thought I was having problems with the farrier. I had heard about Gene Ovanek's trim in 1996 when I was in Montana from a guy named Rich Clark that trained with Gene Ovanek as he was right after he got done doing his research in Wyoming. So his research in Wyoming was done, according to him, in 1986 and 87, in those 2 years. And unbeknownst to him at the time, there was another guy who says he was doing research, and that was Jamie Jackson. So these two men were doing research, one in California, in the Great Basin area, with BLM at the BLM Corrals in Litchfield, California. And that was Jamie Jackson. And he said that he did his research. He said that he did his research. I didn't know anything about him for a couple years, really. Or at the time I heard of Gene Ovanek, I didn't know anything about him. And so, oh God, so much so. Anyway, these two men were doing research. And this is a picture that I got off the internet in 2005. All I had ever heard about was Gene Ovanek's research, and that is the research that I started with. But then as I got on the internet, I found more stuff, and so I added it to my notebook here. Oh, hold on a second. Got a husband, needs to talk to me. All right. Well, got to do that domestic stuff. All right. So these two men were doing research at the same time. The only one I heard about was Gene Ovanek. Um, and there he is, if you've heard of natural balance shoeing or the ELPO, Equine Lameness Prevention Organization. Okay, what he did with his research is he not only developed a way to trim off of his interpretation of wild horse feet, but he also developed a shoeing protocol. And what I found interesting was that at first he just wanted to go total barefoot. I only recently found this out. He totally wanted to just go barefoot. but all the domestic horses weren't staying sound, so he lost all his customers. So uh and I mean I can understand why now, you know, just judging from there's so much more to these feet than what either of these men and originally thought. But anyway, these two men uh, did research, but they came to very divergent conclusions regarding heels. I'm going to show you a picture here. Just a second here. Go find it. Pictures. I gotta drop a picture, so hold on. Let's see. G G G G G F G Jackson. There we go. Show you how divergent their conclusions are by their end result drawing. Both of them did a drawing on the foot of the horse of what they thought. I'll show you Gene's compared to Jackson's. And again, see, this is interesting that neither one of them knew about the other till later in the 90s. I got dogs going crazy here. Just a minute. I gotta put a dog in a crate. Hold on. By that I mean her container. Well, puppy container, whatever you call it. Be right back. Come here, you're going. You're driving me nuts. Come on.
Puppy jail.
Okay. All right. I was going to take his puppy. She's a Springer Spaniel, and let me tell you what, I've never seen that dog walk anywhere. She's got springs in her legs. Okay, so I mean, it's like what a tornado went what took place to the house when she's in here. So anyway, let's see if I got this on here right. Hold on. New share. Okay. Share. All right, so here what you have is in Gene has an article online that I refer to a lot called Wild Horse Hoof Pattern Offers Help for Domestic Hoof Problems. And so in his, basic rundown paper, whatever you want to call it, just the basics of what the conclusions he came to in his research, this is the picture he draws of that's the basic of the wild horse hooves that he examined from different environments from like it says here, soft sand, and then here was medium prairie sod and gravel, and here was hard desert shale and granite. Okay, so here's what Jamie Jackson drew. Now he said here, let me make this bigger. He said that as far as heels, he did not measure heels. He said, well, he must have, but what he said about them was that they varied. Heel length varied. That is what he says in his research. But over here in Jamie Jackson's research, you can see the difference in the foot here. He said that every single horse he studied had a 1 centimeter high heels. And so you see the picture here. Look at the hairline. And then I don't even see any heel there. I see a bulb on the ground. I see this up here, what you see in Gene's little picture here. I see this clear down here. And in my opinion, no horse on the face of the earth has heels that are naturally 1 centimeter high. So whether he didn't know what he's looking at or, whatever, I don't know and stuff. But I can tell you that between this and this is very, very, very like opposite ends of the spectrum. And so what you might want to think about is if your horse was meant to have more heel like this, but you're trying to force this into him, what what would that do? See? So, so here we have two men, both claim to have done this research. Gene, I see it's only been the last I'd say 6 months that I found photos of his research that he did. He took pictures of all the feet. And I found photos of his research. See, because he on YouTube, he does some videos. And so I found some where he shared some photos of some of this research that he did. And it matches up. All the pictures match up with what you see here. Jackson, okay, the only picture that matches up with the drawing you see here is the picture that I had on the front of my book, which was that I had found online. Let me move some stuff here. I got stuff in the way. Maybe is this picture right here. Here's an example. This picture right here. So I had this on the front of my book. Here's one of the pictures that Gene took. Obviously didn't clean the feet up real good. What they did, they brushed the bottom of the foot off, and then they put paint on it, and then they put a board on it to see what area was bearing weight. And then they had a hoof gauge that finds the angle, and they put a hoof gauge on it to find the angle of the dorsal wall. But you can look at this foot, and you can look back here at the heel, and it's stark difference from what you're seeing on this horse here. Now, this horse here in Jackson's first book, this is the only real example that there is that he uses to claim that all of the feet on, well, in his first book, he said, I think it was 107 horses looked just like this in the heel. So this is a stark difference. I would say that more research needs to be done to see, well, now who is right. Now, here's the thing. When these men did their research, there were no pictures of wild horse feet. But guess what? Now there are lots of pictures of wild horse feet. And you're hard pressed to find this to be the norm. Okay, you're more likely to find more of this type to be more of the norm than you are this. Another thing is this particular foot that became the role model for barefoot trimming, what came to be called barefoot trimming, which was based on Jackson's research. See, this became to be called natural God, what did I call it now? Natural balance. Gene called his natural balance. They didn't really call it barefoot trimming, but they did have a trim that you could do if you wanted your horse to go barefoot. But this was more the natural balance trimming and shoeing system. This one here. This over here, his research along with Dr. Strasser's research combined came to be called barefoot trimming or natural hoof care. And I know for me, I did not know any of this when I first started. I knew that Gene had done some research. And I found his site online and I copied his directions on how to trim, and that's how I started. But then later I started finding all these quote barefoot natural hoof care sites that promoted this foot here. And I don't even think it registered for a number of years on me what I'm telling you now, that these two men were both doing research in the 80s and did not know about each other. Okay, which thank God that this guy over here was doing research too, or this would have been the only example that we had from that time. And so really it's kind of cool that you have two different men claiming to do research, and they come up with different opinions on what the horse's foot should be. And so now what we have to do is we have to decide who's right and who's wrong. Maybe both of them are a little wrong. You know what I mean? And yet maybe both of them have some things that are correct too. But you cannot just take one man's research and say that's the end all. Say not on either one of them. But since we're looking at this now and we see such a divergent, say, oh, I see I got some of my Bible research on there too. Since we have such a divergence, let me get over here, of opinion, say, what is the true natural wild horse model? Is it this one or that one? Is it this one or that one? Is it something in between? See, one thing about it, if it's this one, but you're trying to get that one, that's going to lead to a lot of problems, I would say, because you're going to be crushing the inner foot, which we already know that's what's happening. But anyway, it's just, you know, uh, something we're going to have to understand and explain more. All right. So anyway, what am I doing here? Okay. So there's that. Okay. Let me go back here. Now, I studied this foot a lot and I did measurements on it. Okay, we're not going to get into all the details of his theories on this, but that will be something that eventually we're going to have to come and understand. You know, how did he come to his conclusions? Were his conclusions correct? Were they false? Whatever. Okay, so let me go back to this other deal now. Hold on. Hold on. So, well, I'm lost. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Do the screen share again. Okay. So, therefore, when I first started trimming, I found this picture on the internet. I put it on my book and I tried to get that foot for, let's say, 10 years. Okay. Definitely from 2005 to 2014 when I gave up. And of course, I've documented my whole journey through that on YouTube. And of course, I was programmed and into thinking that your horse had to go through transition, and my transition lasted that whole time. Now, I can't say that my horse was crippled the whole time, but a number of things happened, and he was never he got more and more and more and more unsound. Let's put it that way. Okay, now the thing about it is you wonder, well, how could you just keep going for all those years? Well, it's broke now. You got to fix it, right? So your horse is not sound like they tell you if you put this foot on him, he's going to be. All right. And you see all these horses now. See, there were hardly no boot companies when this thing started out. Now they're coming out your earballs. See, There's more boot companies than Carter, as we used to say in the olden days. Carter's got liver pills, which I don't want to go into why they said that. But anyway, there's a lot of boot companies now, a lot of composite shoe companies, everything else, all because people are trying to get this foot on their horse. Well, this is a rear foot off a wild horse that wore its heels out. And so just because some horse wore its heels out like this and then died in a BLM roundup and somebody wound up with a sample of it doesn't mean we've never seen this horse move. We have no idea how this horse might have moved. We do know that she died in a BLM roundup, and now we're all trying to get this foot on our horses. And so this is the barefoot hoof model. Well, this is not the truth. So in 2014, I gave up basically, and I didn't hardly trim my gelding for about a year. I maybe knocked off the long edges 2 or 3 times. And then in 2015, I thought, you know what? This horse is going to waste. I'm going to sell him because I wasn't riding, wasn't doing nothing. So I thought I'm just going to sell my horse. And so I got him in to take pictures of him. And I thought, well, I'll just take pictures of his feet. What the heck? And his feet were monsters. And the reason they were monsters is because you have to keep a short trimming schedule to keep a foot looking like this. Because as soon as you let it grow, it wants to go back to what it should be. And you've deformed it, and so it'll grow in all kinds of weird ways. The heels will be way underrun because you've trimmed out the heels and you've bent the part that grows the heel way down and under. So anything that grows any length at all is going to grow just straight over like that. And so his feet looked horrible. So I thought, well, nobody's going to buy this horse with feet looking like that. And so then I started trying to correct them. And then a month later, no, wait, I went about a year trying to correct his feet and get them straightened out. Let's see, when was that? That was in July. No, I'd say 6 months. See, I got the dates, I got all the pictures, I got everything. So that was in June or July of 2015. Then in January of 2016, I was sitting there and I was doing an illustration. I was taking every single part of the hoof wall apart. And I got back to the back of the foot, naming every single part from the coronary band groove to the part that attaches to the inner foot to the part that then attaches to the sole and grows down to then the part that grows away from the sole down here. And I was naming every single part, and I got back here and I got to the heel buttress. And it was like a light bulb went on. And I realized we've been trimming the heels out of our horses. And so from that time on, I started trying to regrow the heels on my horse. And of course, this turned into a long drawn out thing because what you don't realize, never knew it deformed the whole inner foot. See, didn't know a lot of things, didn't know the periopal could grow over the whole frog and bind the whole foot, and that like this was a process that happened to keep the hoof capsule on that you were trimming out. And so this has grown now today. What is today? It is 23. And so that'll be so like 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's 7 going on 8 years here pretty soon of just learning that it's not just about growing heel buttresses. Learning and now discovering the history of what I'm telling you here too. Like at the time, and it's only been this past year, it just is coming together for me that these two men were doing research at the same time. And I never realized that even in Jackson's book that he said every wild horse he did had a 1 centimeter heel. See, and by now, because I never actually read his books. what I did, I saw all these pictures online. I read Pete Ramey's book. I read other, okay, bye. I read some other people's books and watched some videos and different things like that. But I had never read the book that went to this foot. And then Jan Mulcher, who's a member of our group, she sent me all her hoof books. And that's when I started reading his books. And that's when I found out here just this past year that he said in his book, every horse he did had a 1 centimeter heel, just like this. So, well, that was a new revelation. See, and then I just started putting two to two and two together, realizing when he did this research, having read, that essay, research paper, whatever the heck it is, online that Gene Ovanek did, and realizing what he said, and then putting two and two together and going, man, these guys do not gel in their research. See? And like I said, they didn't know each other when they did it. So now I collect pictures of wild horses' feet. And obviously we need to get out there and start trimming them wild horses because their heels are way too high. They don't look anything like that. Most of them. So these are just facts, whether people like it or not, it's a fact that these two men did research at the same time and that their conclusions were wholly different. But now this image, once put in my head, once put in other people's heads, this is what, well, think about it. You don't know what the true foot is supposed to be like to begin with. So then you don't know anything to begin with, and this is put in your head. This is what you want to see on your horse. And so you will be forever trimming down the heels to try and get this. Now, something I found out about Valor was, and now in having learned so much about how these feet distort, like what happens when you try and trim these heels down like this, the different ways these feet respond to this. Like some feet refuse to have that hairline down. Some feet you can trim them out, and the hairline will come down and the periopal will grow over everything and bind it up. Especially if you're in a dry climate, you got more of a chance of that. This cartilage up here, it'll be pulled down and smashed in and bound up with periopal. But if you're in any kind of climate that has any kind of moisture, that periopal will let loose. And then what happens is this cartilage will raise up and it will pull this sidewall here. It'll pull it around behind so that you'll wind up with this type of deal. Let me do an annotate here, just a second. Okay, so you see how this, like that. Okay, and your cartilage is right here. Okay, what'll happen is it'll take, and it will, let me get a different color. I'll do red. It'll take this sidewall. This cartilage here wants to stand up here. Okay, it wants to be like, because that's where the foot is. It wants to be up here. Okay, well, wait a minute. Let me undo this. Let's see. Okay, it wants to be up here. And so it will pull up here, back up higher, and then it'll take this piece of wall. See how, okay, see this piece right here? Okay, this little area right here. Okay, this cartilage really wants to be up here. And so the deep digital flexor tendon, everything in this is pulling this up. Plus, you've squished the digital cushion and it's under a lot of pressure. You know how when you press on fat, it just wants to go back, right? And so the digital cushion, which is fat, is under a lot of pressure, and the cartilage itself and the deep digital flexor tendon, everything's pulling, wants this cartilage to be up here. And so as it pulls up, a lot of times what it'll do, it'll take this little piece here, and it will wrap it around the side of the foot so that you'll have this. And so this little piece here, it got wrapped around in like that. And you'll come out and you will think, you would look at this foot and you would think this horse had heel. But it's not heel, because his real heel was already worn out, trimmed out back here. And so you've just got less wall. It's weaker than the actual force of the foot. And so as the foot pulls up, it takes this little piece here and it just wraps it around inward into the back of the foot. Sometimes the heels will contract. Sometimes they'll spread out and go wide. And sometimes they'll just kind of go evenly. Like when this piece of sidewall here comes in, okay, you'll see your heels curled in. Like instead of being about like so, okay, they'll literally just start curling in like this, like that. Now sometimes, let's see here, let me just draw this. Okay, you see how your heels are supposed to be pretty straight there? See, they will literally curl in like this, like that. Now sometimes they'll be pushed out wide to where your heel would be coming out like this. That's when you got that bar that goes wherever like that. And sometimes they'll contract and come in like that. And sometimes they'll just go kind of move and look normal, going straight forward, but you're trimming the heel out. See, this is the length of your heel here. This is like, say if you had real heel buttress and your heels would be back to here. And let me get a different color here. Okay. And so as the heels are trimmed out, they get shorter. See, if this one is turned in here, okay, now your foot is only this long, your heels are here. Or if, maybe it's going wide, you could come up to here. And so your foot is only this long, because what's happening is the container's getting smaller and it's taking this cartilage here and it's bringing it and compressing it into a smaller hoof capsule. When in reality, this foot here, what should this foot have looked like? If that had whatever, you can trim the heels out of a horse, but a horse could wear them out naturally too, depending on, environment and age and all that kind of stuff. So just a minute here, clear all drawing. So this foot here, where the cartilage goes down like that. In reality, this cartilage up here should have been clear up here, like so. This foot should have been more like this. And then, cartilage up here. That would have been the true foot of that horse right there. And his frog, which grows between the bulbs, and we call it the frog stay, but it's just the frog that grows between the bulbs to stabilize the back of the bulbs of the foot and to be a major part of the suspension system that works within the whole leg and the foot. The frog stay, as it's called, or the frog growing high up between the back of these bulbs here, would have been, let's see, we'll make it another color here, would have been clear up here, like so. That would be the frog. Well, here, Anyway, this would be frog stay right here. There we go. Right here, this big piece of frog growing up between the bulbs, stabilizing the whole back of the foot. And instead, what you have here, if you see, we know what this foot looks like on the inside because one of the feet they cut in half. So we can see it on the inside. And so when you're trimming out these heels and you're trying to get this hairline to go down like this, it's reducing the size of the whole capsule. It's taking all this part of the foot and it's compressing and forcing it into a smaller capsule. And it strips, or it can, doesn't every single time, but most of the time, it's going to take and deform the whole back of this foot, and it will strip the actual frog stay out from between the bulbs. And so, like, if we look at this foot, what it looks like internally, it has a frog that looks like, we'll do it in pink. It looks like this. About like that. It's thin. It has no frog at all. It also has no depth of sole. See, this foot had no sole either. And so, but if we were to take one of those pictures of the horses that Gene Ovanek did that he had pictures of, then we would see they all have big, huge frogs back here. Because this, what this does is your digital cushion is up in here. Just a minute. What should I make digital? We'll make it yellow. Your digital cushion this is all digital cushion up in here. See? And so this pastern, right here's your pastern. You know, your pastern will lower between the cartilages and onto the digital cushion and push down on this digital cushion, which is fat. Well, your digital cushion then pushes down onto that big giant piece of frog there. And this frog then is designed to give slightly and push down to the ground, like so. So that it's all flexible. And as the pastern is pushing down that deep digital flexor tendon that runs up the back here and underneath, okay, that thing is pulling up. Meanwhile, as your pastern is pushing down, the fat of the digital cushion is pushing up against it, and the frog is pushing up against it. And so that is all part of your suspension system. And so this horse here didn't have any suspension system left. Every step this horse here took would have created a tremendous amount of what would you call it? Tremendous amount of pounding on its joints and its cartilage. See, what is the foot when it correctly works? What does it do? It takes that pounding off the joints. See, because a horse standing, it's all flexing, flexible. Well, you take all the flex out and it's just bottom out, where the joint. See what I mean? There's no flexibility. And so all of the weight of that horse is on the cartilage between the joints and on stressing the tendon. It's making the deep digital flexor tendon do all the work. See? It's having the correct foot, the correct cartilage, the digital cushion, the frog stay, all that. Because see, the digital cushion is part of the foot, while the frog stay and the frog is part of the capsule. And it just supports the digital cushion. They have to work together. And so then your foot is not going to function correctly. Anyway, Let me get out of there. Oops. Wait a second. Now it's interesting. Now I just opened up that other page to that book. A second. Clear all drawings. And a second. That's the wrong page. And I have no idea. I don't remember what I put on the first page. And so I'm looking at it here. And so it's time to rethink horseshoes. So I don't know whose page I got this off of, but notice that it mentions Dr. Strasser's book. This would have been before I heard anything bad about her, or her trim or anything like that. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through the book to see what all I got, but I know I have I'm pretty sure. Let me get in here a second. See what. Oh yeah. I've got Pete Ramey's. I've got stuff from Iron Free Hoof. I've got something from Pete Ramey's White Line Strategy trim. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that. I've got stuff on backing up the toe. Let me see here. Let me get in here. Oh yeah, I just took a lot of pictures and I got directions in here. Whose direction was this? Just a minute. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture here, show you the first trim I learned. If I can find my thing. So I do have a combination of the information put out by both these men, not realizing that they really had a different conclusion as far as the way they made the heels on these horses look. Now, just a second, I'll take a picture and send it to. Okay, take a picture of that. See, and he's got a deal on trimming procedure. That. Yeah, I mean, he had some really good directions, I thought, on his page. I haven't been able to find the same one since, so I'll have to look and see if these are even still online. The way they were. Just a second. Do one more picture so I can show you. Ah. Okay, just a second. Let's see, new share. Okay. Okay, so this is what I read, and it had directions. Say, got here, how to exfoliate the foot, and I put it all in my book. And then I read this for like a month, and then I did my first trim. It took me like 5-6 hours to semi do all the feet, something like that, And so, now it's like finding this book again is like coming full circle in my understanding of this man's work, Gene Ovenick's work, and then of Jamie Jackson's too, and just how different their ideas truly were. And yet what I find is that you have people that have been trained as natural balance farriers who don't have any idea that these two men teach something totally different. And they have just taken and combined Jackson's ideas with Ovanik's ideas. And so everybody's trimming the heels out of these horses. Now, as far as Ovanik and Farriery, Farriery basically teaches, like they don't teach like a heel height per deal, but what they do teach is taking the frog or taking the heels just down and back to the base of the frog. Only they call it taking the heels back. You will never hear them say you've got to take the heels down and back. Okay, I say that because I know now that when you take the heels back to the widest part of the frog, you are always usually going to take them down as well. But it just depends on what kind of frog your horse has as to how far you're going to take them down. And this is why some horses escape being severely over trimmed because they happen to have thick frogs. So the trimmer will not take down the heels as much, to where if, let's say, a horse loses his frog, like exfoliates his frog, or it's just getting worn down a little more at each trim, you'll just wind up taking the heels down more and more at each trim. So anyway, that's all I want to share about that today. So what we'll do now is if anybody has some feet we want to look at, we can do that. But also I was going to say, so in this class that we're going to do, we're going to go into great detail about the history of hoof care and the history of barefoot trimming as well, and the research of these two men and things like that, because I just think that's people need, and I'm going to try and put it in a simple format, so that people can understand, so that they can make more informed decisions and know about what they are doing to their horses with whatever trim they choose. See? So, okay. So any questions there or any comments? No. Okay. All right. Well, all right. So does anybody that's here today, does anybody have horse hoof pictures you would like evaluated or anything like that? No. All right. Let's
Well,
see.
Linda,
Yeah.
I would just like to, out of curiosity, I sent you a message a few days ago about us Olympic show jumper's horse that is jumping barefoot.
Oh, okay.
And I sent you some pictures of it I took from the story that he published on Facebook. And I would like to look at
Okay.
it with the group, and because
Yeah,
I
let's
think
look
that
at that.
they looked very deformed, and this horse is jumping at the highest level, at the highest possible level. He actually, I think he came in a gold medal in the Olympic Games.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So I just wanted to look at the picture.
yeah,
The
let us do that. Okay, let's see here. I gotta find him.
Linda,
Yeah.
quickly, I will send you pictures of my horse, and
Okay.
if we have time, we can go over them.
Hey,
Have a look.
absolutely. We will do that.
Great.
Yes. Okay, so
further down, further down.
oh, okay. You can see me, huh?
Yeah, there, there,
Right
those.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how clear they can be, but see how distorted they are. Look at the cartilage, how they're being pulled down.
How long has he been barefoot?
Quite a while already.
Well, you know, um,
It's one of the pictures, then you can see there's a sole view.
okay.
We can't see it big.
Yeah, he's making
Ah,
heel for himself. Here, let me take and save an image. I see that much. You know, these horses can, I mean, they adapt, but there's going to come a time when this horse ain't going to adapt. He's, whether they know it or not, he's suffering now. But, just a minute here.
It's just out of curiosity to see your opinion and your thoughts on the hoof.
Yeah, you
You
see,
know, I can see contracted heels. I can see the cartilage are pulled down. I can see that the periopal is probably covering the whole frog. I can see the frog is very thin and elongated towards the front.
yeah,
It looks as if the sole is like the wall and the sole are not connected.
yeah,
You
he's
know?
starting to get separation.
Yeah.
See, you know, this distortion can happen. These horses were meant to adapt, you know,
Mhm.
as their heels wear out, they adapt. And so, you know, if this horse had relatively what he thinks to be, look at the distance here. See, he's taking it back to the base of the frog about. He's not uh trimming down the heels. He's just taking it down to about the height of the frog. So this could go on for a long time, you know. Um, Hoof distortion is gradual and horses adapt, you know, but sooner or later it's all going to catch up. You know, it's all going to catch up. Um, See, this is why it's so deceptive. Because these horses do adapt, you know, and like what you see here, like he's made heels for himself here, you know,
Yeah.
and so he's still got some distance. Let me show you here just a minute. Let me look at the other ones first. Just a second. Okay, yeah, he ain't got his real heels. But he's making heels for himself. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
The distance from here to here, he's making what I was telling you on that other horse, how they'll pull that sidewall around, you know,
Yes. Yes.
and his toe is stretching forward. It's just a matter of time. You know, this horse,
It was
we're
just
not,
I just wanted to see it with you
yeah,
because I mean this horse is jumping at the absolute highest Olympic level that you can imagine. Barefoot, he's
yeah,
winning. Everybody's saying, "See, you can take horses barefoot." But then when I look at the hooves,
mm-hmm.
that's mine.
Yeah.
um,
I'd like to know how long how really truly long he's been barefoot. See,
I'll try and find out, but I'm not sure.
and uh, you know, I just know from the looks of these feet that they are deformed and distorted, and he's paying for it somewhere.
Mhm.
You know, like how many chiropractors does he have? How much body work is he having being done? What kind of supplements is he on? Because it will take a toll. But again, this horse makes heel for himself, so that in and of itself is saving him a little bit. You know, it's saving his tendons and things like that.
Mhm.
You know, see, they just don't go lame overnight. Well, some of them do. If you were to take this horse, if you were to go in and do a what's his name, David Landerville trim on this horse, like like now, see, I don't see ramped heels there. Do you?
No.
Let's look at a just a minute. Let me find new share. I do not see him ramping the heels here. See that? Look at the distance from here to here. Look, he looks like he's got a lot of heel, right?
Mm-hmm.
See it? So every time they have slightly taken these heels back, it's trimmed a little bit out. It's gradually pulling all this down and in. Okay. But this is gradual. And so this horse is adapt, but it's going to come to where this horse is going to break down. You know, if he gets another trimmer or somebody in here that does this a little different, and like they decide to, if they came in here and ramped these heels because they looked at the side, like say they got a good side view and they thought, oh, that horse has too much heel. He needs, see, he's not forcing, doesn't look like to me like he's forcing this horse to walk on his frog.
Mm-hmm.
So this horse is escaping a lot of things that happen when they do different kinds of these barefoot trims to try and get a 30-degree hairline.
And what about the contracted heels, Linda, regarding the inner foot? Like when the heels are so contracted like that, what does the inner foot look like exactly? What like
well,
we've always been talking about horses without heels, and you've shown us images of the inner foot. So, but when because here in Spain we also have the opposite. We have very contracted heels and very contracted heels and very long heels too. So we have those tube-like hoofs, and I don't know which one is worse, without heels or contracted heels.
Yeah, well, both of them. I'll show you some pictures, like Cibola, that's in our group, and she lives in Portugal. Okay, she sent me pictures long ago of very, very contracted heels and stuff like that. So let me see if I can find the pictures. The inner foot, when it's
Linda,
contracted, yeah.
if you don't find the pictures, I can send you some from a horse that has also totally contracted heels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, why don't you do that anyway?
Okay, so I send it to you and you can go just your way.
Okay. Just a minute here. Yeah, and I want to look at those. Oh, well, yeah. See, but these don't even look as contracted as I've seen some of them. Let me new share here. But you can really see how the frog's being stripped out of them. Oops, wait a minute. Wrong deal. Okay, now you see how the bulbs are being pulled. These bulbs are pulling back up, and now you're seeing this big wide bulb skin. And you're seeing, look how it looks so full. They would look at this and go, oh wow, first of all, they would think this was a good frog stay. But this is actually the bulbs pulling up this way and the frog tubules are pulling out of it. See those little hair-like things? So this is all periopal. And yeah,
Linda?
bulbs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my horse. That's why I sent it to you.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought it's really interesting to see all the hairs
Yeah.
there. So the story here is that I moved in this summer back to Germany, and he
Okay.
has now a totally different surface he's walking on, and I
Okay.
didn't do a lot. And also you can see here, yeah, I need to take the periople off,
Okay.
and he's kind of
I would be
self-trimming
careful
a
on
lot.
that.
Hmm?
You know what I'm saying? I would be careful.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Okay, I thought I was looking at the one at the other foot.
So
Well, I don't know what I'm doing, obviously.
that's the last picture I sent to you.
Okay, we'll come back to this foot, all right?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it going, those heels don't look real contracted. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Well, no wonder.
But the
Okay.
periople is taking over.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, there's a lot going on there
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. Okay, yeah, I want to look at that foot for sure. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, now we will see. Just a second here. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Now that's contracted for sure.
Yes, this isn't more like.
Okay, there you go. Here, let me get save that image so that I can flip it over. Wow. Let's see, new share.
My horror picture was the one from the lateral view with the irons on.
Okay.
When I
Oh,
saw that
wow.
picture, I'm totally freaking out.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of this one and compare it to the one we were just looking at here in a minute too. Boy, yeah, that's contracted. And it's pulled down bent and sucked in and contracted all at once. Okay, let me go find the other picture here. Let's see.
So how would you address that, Linda?
Oh wow. Probably run away screaming. How would I address that?
No chance to run away.
Just run away. Yeah, quietly whimpering. Let's see. New share. Yeah, this is terrible. But hey, it's not any more terrible. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I have to look. Than that one I'm always showing. I mean, look at that. How tiny that foot has been made.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a horse. It's bigger than Dodo, so he's around 16, 17 hands high. And
Wow.
he wears the shoe size 10 or 11, and Dodo is way more smaller. He's 15 and a half or 16
Uh-huh.
hands high, and he wears the shoe size 14.
Wow.
That's a huge difference. Yeah, I had to run away when I saw
Yeah.
that. I just send you a pic, or I said I will send you a picture. It's not the pretty actual. It's not a. It's from. Yeah, it's from November.
It's like
It's
they trimmed him into a club foot. Are all his feet like this?
yeah,
Yeah.
all two fronts, and the back feet are a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
but not quite totally good.
Wow.
Also bounded and yeah. So you have a
Wow.
picture right now. We started in July to trim him.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So that's from July, and the
Okay.
last one is from November. From November.
Let's see. Oh well, he's coming unbound.
Yeah.
I mean, let me see. Save
And he's
image.
on support. He's on support and in shoes since
Yeah.
July.
Wow. You're
Because
doing wonderful.
um yeah, I'm totally scared that he's broken down when I just trimmed a little bit too much because all the weight is bearing on that little tiny feet. And if I do him a little bit too much on the periopal, I'm scared that to death
Yeah.
that he will
No, well,
broke down. So that's why I have him on support material.
let's see. I'm going to put these together and compare them here. Just a second here. What's interesting is yeah, it's the same foot too. Holy Hannah. Well, hold on. Wow. Isn't this just insane? Okay, new share. Wow. Look at that. What's interesting is the color of hair that's coming out of there. Look at that. That hair. How weird is that, huh? So his very hair line is actually inside there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
my gosh, I didn't see that.
yeah, so
Whoa.
Yeah, so he was just really curled in there. And now that's pulling out. He's got pieces, parts of his foot are pulling out, you know. Let me do a annotate. Just a minute. So he is just wrapped clear up in there, even more so. And so here you see he's literally opening up like a flower almost, and you're seeing the petals. And so this part was so compressed right in here, it probably hasn't seen daylight for years. This little piece of skin right in here. Wow. And
Yeah,
and
I'm
and
stunning.
look at the color coming into his hoof capsule as well. Look at, he's getting some pigment from somewhere, you know. Well, that's just really interesting. Wow. Well, huh.
Simone, what were you doing? Soaking the foot? What did you do to make it open up like that?
Trim him every 3 weeks, and the owner trims him also pretty small slices, not much, just in the collateral grooves. She goes with the rasp, and very small steps we took, and we didn't soak him. We just let him in the boots with the DIM 24/7, and the owner is changing the boots every 3 to 5 days, and yeah, and we trim him after TACT, so,
Wow.
and go very slowly with everything, because the hoof capsule is so pretty small, and if I'm doing too much, for my opinion, if I'm doing too much in one step or two steps or three, it will open up too fast, and there is no space in the capsule um for the hoof, for the inner foot.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
capsule is not big enough.
yeah, when you think about how compressed and twisted and bound and curled and folded and bent that foot has to be shoved into that little tiny container, you know?
Hmm.
Wow.
So what I didn't
That's,
do is I just don't rasp I don't chop the heels off,
yeah.
which would I just do it very slowly, and opening up the sole. I think there's a lot of old sole or double sole inside, and right now we have some frog. Um, Before it was just, yeah, uh, an old bubble gum or something like that,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah,
he
look
had
at it. That's definitely all peri. Oh, that's got to be nothing but periopal. You know, I mean, he
yeah,
he
I think
he
so
might,
too.
wow, he might have some old dead something way, 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 way up in there somewhere, you know. But yeah, that's all just wow, look at that. That's something else. Wow. So it's interesting just seeing the two extremes, or well, the two different types, like what I started out talking about, how they're different, how they can contract and go in, or they can also go wide and pull everything out wide. Me myself, I'd rather have the wide if if it was me. Let's see, clear all drawings. Let's just compare it to that other foot there of Sabine. As let's see, let's see, stop share for a second, and I'll get these pictures and compare them. Let's see. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's really something. The foot is so tiny. It's just insane. you know? Let's see, save this image.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And the farrier told the owner he can never walk without irons and stuff like that. And I said, okay, he could better walk without irons because the irons made him walk like that. He has
Yeah,
swollen feet. All 4 feet are swollen all the time. He's 14. He's 14. He's a young horse.
he's
He
a
wants
young
to,
horse. Yeah.
yeah, he wants to be ridden and wants to go outside. And yeah, he's just standing there and watching the birds like because he cannot walk with these tiny little feet. And the new owner, she's pretty interesting in TACT, and she's willing to learning with a TACT, but we're doing this together because this is quite, yeah, this is a horror experience for her, I think.
Yeah, no
And
kidding.
okay, I lost my lost the red line what I'm
Ah,
talking about. Yeah, and he has swollen feet all the time with the irons on. He was on 4 shoes. And after we took the shoes off, I guess it took around 3 trims, so around 6 to 9 weeks. And the swollen feet go backwards. So no, not that much swollen as he was before.
uh-huh. Good.
But yeah,
Getting,
so
I mean, can you imagine how it just cuts off the circulation? It's
yeah, of
surprising
course,
their feet don't
absolutely.
just fall off.
Yeah, that's what I told her, and she said, "Yeah, do you know Bema, Linda?
Do I know who?
Bema, the yeah, it's like a therapy jacket for horses. Bema. In Germany, it's a little bit yeah, it's famous in Germany. And she's a therapist for that, and she said, "Oh my goodness, I didn't see that. The hoofs are also with blood circulation, something like that." And for her, it was mind blowing when I told her. Um, he's walking in shoe size, let's say 6 when he needs a 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she said, "Oh yeah, you're right." And then I said, "Yeah, that's why has swollen feet and doesn't want to walk and doesn't
Oh,
want to work."
yeah. Yeah. Poor guy. Oh, man.
Yeah, and right now he's on a good way. So she's riding him outside and yeah,
Good.
and I think she's pretty happy with him right now.
Good. Well, that's awesome. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here, I got all these three together here just to see the difference. See, so you can see now, um, the heels are still not fully restored in this foot, of course, as you can tell by the big bulbs and stuff like that and what's going on with the frog. I mean, I can see that this horse, his foot is wanting to come unbound. Um, do you do you have an older picture of this foot? Was it ever contracted?
I would send you one.
Okay, but just so you can see the difference, so you can see one that isn't as or in contracted in the same way, or bound in the same way. It's all hoof bound, you know. First of all, the good thing going for this one here is look at the hairline. It's nice and high and straight. Okay. And so these bulbs aren't totally twisted in there. And he's got a big, thick, nice frog. To where look at the hairline here. See? Let me get this. Yeah. So there's the hairline there. Going clear into here. So there's even hairline wound up in there. So if you were to take this and pull it all the way down and just spool it into there, yeah, way into there. And then you can see it coming out here, this little bit here. See, look at the difference it made, just even the way it looks right here, how this is, see how full that is? It's just changed all this. Wow. Pretty interesting. It's amazing how their feet can bind up like that. It's just like, wow. Let's see.
So I think the sole is holding also very tight because the
Yeah,
sole
the sole
is
here.
massive. Hmm.
Yeah.
I tried to trim it out nicely, but he doesn't like my grinder, so
Okay.
I
Yeah.
he's he's scared with the grinder, so I have to take the knife. But
Oh, it
yeah,
looks like it's hard as a rock.
yeah,
Is it?
I didn't the frog was okay-ish, but the sole is hard like a rock,
Yeah.
even when he's on boots. And
Mhm.
the owner is soaking the hoofs right, I guess, 4 hours before the trim.
Mhm.
So
Well, he's probably got
yeah,
a
it's
lot of that laminar serum injected into the sole,
yeah, but
to
it doesn't look glassy. It
it
doesn't look
doesn't.
glassy. It looks no, it looks healthy, and the white line is closed. But I think it could be like the hoofs that you're showing us with the four hoofs inside. You know what I mean? That he's growing sole inside, and because of the irons, the sole cannot fall off and
Okay.
exfoliate. Maybe I don't know, but
Wow. Well, I mean, you're seeing his foot is coming unwrapped there. So, you just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you know as much as I do. You know what I mean? Um, uh, you know, discovering and understanding something is a way, and then having all the answers to how to undo it. We just don't have all the answers. We know what needs to happen. Uh, all of the details in getting it done remains to be discovered. You know, um, I think, I foresee in the future that you will have vets who will be very skilled at being able to unbind these feet, as well as you won't have as many bound feet because people will know what does it. We know how they get that way. Um, on we know what has to happen for them to not be that way, but how to get that there, is another thing. Um, there is a German vet over there. I wish I could remember his name, Klaus something, and I had a bunch of pictures of an operation he did on a horse that lost its heel. You know, where he had to remove more of the capsule and then cast the foot. And I always thought that someday they might just be doing things that way, you know, totally just removing the capsule, at least from the back, from midpoint back, and then casting the foot in a way to where the foot can expand and still grow a new capsule, you know, even if you did it one heel at a time. If you had the necessary anesthetic, and I'm sure someday they will develop a procedure for this to where they can unbind these horses' feet just by removing the capsule and then creating a prosthetic, to let it grow back. I mean, don't you think that someday they might be able to do that? So,
Be nice if they didn't bind him in the first place.
well, that's what we're hoping,
yeah.
but I also see to where, man, if you could just get rid of a lot of this, well, see, yeah, anyway, someday, some way, somehow, maybe. I don't know.
Linda, just like it was done with Pocahontas when she lost a big chunk of her hoof,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
one who lost the CB bone.
yeah. Lost her coffin bone. And
But I would ask Simone if she has side views of these phases, these two phases of these horses.
Yeah, I can send it to Linda and also the
Okay.
solar view. Maybe that's interesting.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, I'd like to see the solar view. Wow. Well, so like as far as an inner foot, let's see here. We go try and imagine what it would be like. Just a second here. Gotta go to pictures. Okay. EFGH inner foot. Maybe it's in there. Well, we can see we can see an example of, let's see, new share. I don't have a foot that looks like this, but okay, so here's a similar foot, you know, that was able to get straightened out that I've shown before. This was a good foot. Okay, so this gives you an example of these feet when they're bound, when they go wide. See how this one went wide and it pulled the frog out to the sides, and it made the frog shorter as well. And then look how it deformed the foot though. See that? Shoving that foot. Now you wouldn't know it by just looking at this part, but you see how it deformed the inner foot. It deformed the frog corium. Because this is what it's supposed to look like. This is anatomically correct. You can see that the heels are very straight here, not curving in. Of course, do they even look curved? They don't even look curved in on this foot. It's like they just went straight forward. They didn't curve in as much because they went wide. There you go. I gotta sneeze.
Bless you. So Linda, I sent you the pictures.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gesundheit.
Yes, Gesundheit.
Okay, let's go back to pictures here. Okay. Wow. And see, must be a humongous horse because that foot doesn't look that small in your hand either. You know what I mean? Like if he was a normal sized horse. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to thin out. Is that foot? Wow.
Yeah, that's the same foot on the same day after the trim directly on November the 9th.
Wow, that's just, he must have humongous feet. I mean, his actual heel, true heel and foot must be clear out to here. But yeah, you don't want to thin out this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't thin it out now.
Yeah. Huh. Wow. Yeah, it's just gonna be a gradual thing. You might be able to just do a little bit here to get that ledge off right there, like right in here, because because really this is the part you want to have a little freedom back here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, you could shape that a little more right in here, just to help him have a little more flexibility back there to push those heels apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But wow.
And that's the same foot after right after I took the irons off.
The first trim?
The first trim, yeah.
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
huge difference between the size of the back of the hoof on the hoof
Yeah, look
and
at
the
that.
shape.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing here. Yeah, it's just real. It is starting to come. It's starting to open up. Mm, wow.
That's the
Yeah,
first trim. Not the first trim, before I trim him, just right after I took the irons off.
And Simone,
Yeah.
I think you wasn't she just starting riding him now that you started trimming? I
Yeah.
think you told me that she was on rest, or he was on rest somehow. What was the story here?
No, he doesn't. No, he was not on rest, but the feet are swollen and he was not willing to walk. And yeah, he's
So before
how
you
can I
started
say it?
trimming,
No, she was not the owner by herself. The owner changed, yeah, immediately when we start trimming. So
oh, so she owned him with somebody else?
no, there was a lady, she owned him, but she lived far away. And the lady who owned him right now knew about us and the TACT within a friend. And she asked me if I can have a look at him. And I said, yes, of course. And after we talked, she told me that she's not the owner of the house. And I said, okay. Um, and she said, but I wanna buy him. So I just want to know how what the farrier or bar trimmer or something like that. She doesn't know anything about tact, and this time would say what we can do with with the hoofs. And I said,
Oh,
okay, we have a long journey if you want to do it, and you have to learn by yourself also.
yeah.
And yeah, but you have to ride him, not just stand him in the stall. She asked me, shall I ride him or shall I bring him out? And I said, go out, walk every time you can.
Yeah.
Let him walk. It's so important that the horses can walk and they're not stay in the stall or in the barn. And she said, okay, I can ride him. And I said, yes, of course, go out and have fun
Yeah.
together.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and I think
good.
this is impressive. If you see the hoof, you would say, oh, please, I mean, that he is now ridden,
Yeah.
starting this journey, plus he's now getting moved. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
And he was a stallion till last year.
He was
He was
till
a
when?
stallion. Right now he's a gelding and he's 14.
Oh
So they
my
made him a
goodness.
gel. Yeah, he had a hard journey,
Yeah,
that
he
poor
has
boy.
had. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
well,
he's so kind, and every time when I walk in, he's gonna talk to me. It's so funny.
oh, isn't
Okay,
that
please touch me
great?
here. Please touch here. He's so
Oh,
funny.
that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
and
Well,
he's a pretty handsome
Well,
guy.
yeah,
well, I think that he's so kind and so nice because he's suffering so much. I mean, when he has hoofs again, he won't be that sweet and quiet animal.
Yeah, you know what I
And
think. Yeah, no,
something else I
no,
wanted to
no. He
say.
can be he can be an asshole too. No worries.
Yeah.
he's a man. No,
Yes.
sorry.
And I want to tell something else here in this photo. I don't know if it is the photo, but his medial side is coming out to the left, to the lateral side.
Yeah,
So
you're
you
totally
should
right.
be, yes, you should be very
He,
careful to correct the medial side more
no,
because you can
I don't correct it that much because he's not straight in the bones more upward. I don't know the word in English. He's not straight there. I guess it's I have X-rays too. I guess it's a damage right before I think I don't know, many years ago. And he's not straight up there. So, and the hoofs is the balance board between it. So I don't take the balance on the hoof capsule. I take the balance between the how say I in English? Sabine, jump in. Lost in translation. I take the balance on the
okay,
bones.
you know, I just saw the imbalance.
Yeah, he's
And
imbalanced. hmm in the capsule. But if I have the capsule like that, he's balanced in the knee, and in the bones more upwards
It's not
because
really,
he has.
really, really bad. I mean, uh, my pony was way, 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 way worse than that. You know,
And this looks like a banana to me. It goes the like a banana outward.
yeah, yeah. What do they call that? Windswept or something like that. Um, yeah, that foot's just gonna have to unfurl. Wow, poor guy. Well, but not poor guy because getting some help, and so I'm obviously feeling better if she can ride him and he goes out and she's getting some use out of him, and that's the best thing for him too, is to get some movement, you know, to get that foot working. So, well, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Um, let's see what else we
Yeah,
got.
you're welcome. Just want to show how the thousand faces of bonded hoofs.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. You guys are doing great. Okay, well, let's finish looking at Sabina's horse's foot. Is this
So
him?
yeah, that's him when I started the trimming journey with him, and yeah, he was like underrun. You can see from the side how the heel were like long but forward, and the toe was too long, and the frog wasn't developed.
Yeah. And you know what this foot looks like? Looks a lot like the horse that Leah was having us look at. Because
Mm.
this horse makes his own heel. You know, this foot looks a lot the same.
Yeah,
It.
and I think if you go now, like forward into the picture from the pictures, you will see how he looks now, and the
Oops.
other, yeah, above, it's above, yeah, over there, and then the next ones,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Looking much better. You've
but
got, look at that little. See that little bit of heel coming in there.
yeah,
The
it had
foot.
been longer. He is running them off now in the new sand. He's where he is now. He's wearing the heels off by his own on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually where the cursor is right now from you, like a little bit more above this yellowish, yeah, that part that broke away. It was gone. So it
Ah,
was longer, and it looks like as if I rammed the heels, but I didn't. It was
yeah.
gone. It broke away. Yeah.
Well, let me go back here and look again at something.
And that's just the back view. Yeah, that's the old.
Black. Oh, I'm just looking here. Wow. See, what I'm seeing is that all of this is gradually, this heel will gradually grow in some more, and eventually this bulb and periopal skin will come up higher, and he'll be adding more wall into the capsule. But they're
Maybe
looking.
what's interesting is that the wet season starts where Sabine lives right now.
Oh, is the wet
And
season starting?
Mhm.
Oh
yeah, and
yeah.
I think
it's winter.
it's a little bit different to the season that Sabine has in Hungary because the sand is quite different that they have. So
So that's the left front
maybe it's
now.
interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, I took the picture for sure because of, you can see the periopal like perfectly
Yeah.
presented here. And as I said, I didn't trim a lot because I wanted just to examine or observe how how he runs off the horn on his own.
Yeah.
And
Linda,
Yeah.
yeah, could I ask you to turn your volume up a little? Can't seem to hear you very much. I hear the
Oh,
others
okay.
very well.
Okay. Is
Thanks.
that better?
Yeah, that's better. Thanks.
Okay, I had my microphone pushed under my neck.
Oh, okay, great.
Well, it's just really interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. And I think something would help is if you were taking a little more bar in here.
yeah,
Because
that's kind of an untrimmed picture. I mean, I haven't trimmed him here, I think 2 weeks or something. That's just, yeah.
he's wanting to add more. He is adding more. This is coming unwrapped. And his frog is pulling up behind. And what I'm seeing when you go back this way, when you see, well, let's see here. Who is that lovely lady?
Oh, that was cool, Sabine.
What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing like his bulbs are pulling up and away from the frog that's here. And you've got like maybe a couple of different versions. Okay, so like if the foot because of the wet and stuff like that, if the foot expands, it can kind of pull up and away from the current frog and start growing a new frog underneath it.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, and that's kind of what I'm seeing that might possibly be going on here. Now, one thing is if the back of this foot is trying to expand, the old, even if it's good, healthy frog, periopal, whatever that's here, will still hold it up in here. Um,
So what I can say is that he lived in Hungary on a clay ground, which was like deep mud and not so much like sand like he has now. And I
okay.
can see the difference now that the frog, since we moved here through the last 3 months, is developing. The frog looks stronger, kind of more. There's more material, and it was weaker through the last 5 years. So no matter how I trimmed the frog, and because I left him alone with the frog now the last 3 months, kind of, um, I think that's, yeah. I just wanted to see how he develops, but I can see clearly, the periopal is, growing over the back of the hoof, and
Well, but what I'm seeing here too is that the foot is raising up.
but that's
And it's going
he's higher,
like
but he's
these are
higher on this
different
side.
stages where it's pulled up, where this is good, where this is up
Yeah.
high between the bulbs here.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's really good. Um, and you just see this impression like it went up, 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 and now it's up here.
Mhm.
Um, do you have an older picture? of
I
the
mean,
back
that looks like kind of the other one
like
I
that?
showed you. That's would be kind of the same, because it had been like one farrier trimming, and the style
Okay.
was like as if he wanted to put shoes on the hoof, and then he stopped trimming. So that's where they are done within 10 minutes with the
Oh
whole
yeah.
horse, you know.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I think, yeah, I can send it to you. The front.
Okay.
That's
So I did a video on the trim, just to interrupt you,
Okay.
where I do one hoof on Angelo, and I need 12 minutes.
12
I'm so
minutes.
happy. 12
Yeah,
minutes
that's
because
nice.
Angelo is so brave, and he's so standing still, and I don't need anything to stretch or something like that. I'm sorry for
No,
interruption.
that's okay.
So I send it to you.
Oh, oh,
This
okay,
should
there it is.
be, yeah. Is
Oh
it?
yeah, I mean,
Am I?
nope, wait a minute, new share.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's no, yeah, we can see it.
Is this the same
Yeah,
foot?
yeah,
Yeah, look at how much a bar is. You see, yeah. See, this foot has come a long way, and these bulbs that are wrapped up here, you can tell that the back of that foot internally is pulling up, being pushed and pulled up in the back. Because when you've gotten rid of a lot of this bar here,
yeah,
it looks so much better. It's really coming along. This minute, I'm gonna save that image
yeah,
as.
yeah. And everything changed. I mean, the right front was more flat, and this one, the left front, was more steep. And now they are leveled out. It looks so
Uh-huh.
much better. And also the problems in his shoulders, are getting better. It's, nothing happens overnight, but yeah, takes time.
Wow. Yeah. This is interesting, just kind of seeing them all. Just a minute here. I want to save some of these and move that. Oops. Just to see the difference. Let's see.
The next one. Yeah,
Oops.
yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah,
This is current, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also, everything is like back where it should be, and not forward somewhere where it shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the one.
Just a minute here. When was this one? Oh, that's in 21.
Yeah,
Okay.
21. Yeah.
Okay. And look how deep the collateral grooves were. So deep, and that is always a sign of a bound foot. Now, what you'll see a lot of times is you'll see a big frog and stuff like filling that totally up that you don't even know they're that deep.
Hmm.
Yeah, this just looks so much better. Wow. But what I'm saying too is I think you have several layers of frog here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Definitely probably some periopal frog going on, but just let me look at the frog
And I
again.
can, you see and you feel the difference. Now you see that's frog, and
Mm-hmm.
from the back view, you can see it's periopal, like as a curtain
Yeah.
above the frog. But the way I can trim it it feels like frog. So in the beginning, when you first saw the picture, you said you would be careful taking the periople. It was like you wanted to add something more to this.
Well, I would take more bar but just do more controlled periopal, and I would redefine the apex of my frog here, because that whole foot is wanting to pull back this way, and you never know too, sometimes if you might have a frog underneath your frog, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, because if he
Shedding,
comes
they're
loose,
shedding.
yeah, if he comes loose in there and he separates from like this frog, then you start growing another frog underneath it. And it could still be live periopal frog growing. See, but because they can come loose, they can grow 2 or 3 frogs. And you don't know that one has become basically obsolete, but it's still connected through the periopal and stuff. They can have like different layers, because that foot and that frog, like you can really see here how like these bulbs are just wanting to come loose. But I would start with more, trim down this bar more, because this is not his real bar anyway, where it's going to be. And I have noticed that, see, I started trimming my bars shorter. And when I mean shorter, I mean here, right in here, like coming down a little bit there and trimming more of this piece off here. Because in reality, this is distorted bar growth, because his true bars are going to be back here. Okay, and look here. You can see here the way his bulbs are curling in like this, see? Okay, so this is all covering up something here and hiding something. He's got something under here going on, because his foot is definitely expanding in the back. And so you're going to want to, let me do a.
So I will come back in 2 months and show you the development.
Okay. And this minute here, let me do this deal here. I'm going to show you my horse's feet, something I learned, something that's been growing on. Because see, I've been working on my horse's feet to come, for these bulbs to come unwrapped and for the foot to lengthen. This minute here. Okay, so okay, I don't know why that does that. Okay, so I know it seems crazy, okay, but you literally can move these bars over into this and in them right here. You see that? So that otherwise your heels aren't going to let go and stuff. And I bet if you started lifting that up there, you're going to find dirt underneath it too. Because your true heels are going to be, when all is said and done, your true heels are probably going to be at least this much further back. Right there. Like right now it's right here, but they're going to be probably clear back here. And so if then your true bar, you see how long your bar would be?
Yeah.
Where I end it right there. Okay. Like if you took, let me see if I can simulate this to what I mean here. Let's see.
I think it's clear.
Huh?
I think it's clear what you're telling us here.
Oh, okay. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
So for me, yes.
Like if I was to move this bar back here, then your true bar would end right about here.
Yeah.
So if you allow this to stay like this, it's just going to hold your heel right there. That's what I mean. And so these bulbs too, they're going to expand. And so I would start doing a little exploratory right in here. because I think you may have a faux frog. You know, like you got a new frog growing under there, maybe. Okay, and also re-establish your true apex, because you'll find that as all this whole foot moves and pulls back, it's going to pull the whole apex back with it. You know, and you'll find that you'll establish it here, and you'll find that it winds up having some soul underneath it that wants to grow. Okay, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, just yes, I confirmed.
Okay.
Linda,
Yeah.
when you say in the central sulcus, when you say exploratory, do you mean keep taking it slivers down until you find the edge of what you think you can go to when you say exploratory?
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of thin it down some. Like on the last trim I did, you wouldn't know it, but the whole frog had moved underneath, and so the frog on top of it was ready to come off, but you couldn't tell because it looked like one solid normal piece. But when I went ahead and kind of got in there anyway, I found black cracks and how it was actually loose. Parts of it were loose, and there was new frog growing underneath it. I'll show you pictures. Let's see here.
Linda, do you remember last spring sometime when Dolly's right hind did that?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And now it looks like a perfectly normal frog again.
yeah. See, they can have a whole hoof growing underneath a hoof. You know, they can have, uh, they can have, in fact, I wish I could find this picture. You look at the back of this foot, like what we're looking at yours there, but on this horse, you literally could see 3 sets of hoof growing.
It's interesting that you say that. This just happened to me. I literally cleaned the central sulcus, which looked like it needed to be cleaned down to where I thought there was nowhere left to go, which was completely fine, no problem. And then 3 days later, I came back and there was like a hole in the center of the central sulcus, and the entire part came off.
Yeah.
It just came
exactly.
off. No way it would have come off.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, see?
I hadn't done that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'd had that old dead frog on there. You know?
It would have been there the whole time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, yeah, see? Let's see here. Oh, where do I go? Okay, I'm gonna go to my last trim. Oops, wrong one. Go back. Okay, hold on. And the thing was that when I trimmed the foot before was when I took the bars down, like I'm telling you, you should take yours down, start learning to take them down more. I just had been going to this place where I thought I needed to do that. And so I had done that on this foot. And so the whole foot had moved. Let me see here. Second. I'm a looking. Hold on. Where are you? Because I took pictures. Well, just a second here.
Linda, I just sent you a picture of Dolly's right hind, that frog from, I think, June or July.
Okay. this was it. Oh, well, here is one example. You know, something's going on when you see stuff like this. See that hole? Say, now when was this? Okay, this was on 10/1. So this was a trim after this. Just a minute here. That's a different foot. Okay. Okay, this foot here. Okay. Okay, let's go back here. Maybe I didn't get the right pictures. Ah, come on. Well, anyway, I think this is the foot. Okay, so this I did see this little crack here. If that's the same foot. Is it? Yes. Okay, so it's the same foot. So just looking here, you wouldn't think much, you know. So I went ahead and kind of trimmed stuff up, and then for some reason, did something else here in a minute, and then it revealed itself. Let's keep going. Maybe. Maybe that's not the foot. Dang. I specifically took pictures of this thing. Maybe it's on my phone. Maybe it's on my phone. Just a second. Because this doesn't look like it. Maybe it's on my phone. Nope, that wasn't it. Just a second. Oops. Let's see. Let's close that out. Okay. Okay. Maybe this is it. Okay. Just a second. Okay, start the screen share again. All right, I think I found it this time. Okay, this is the foot. Okay, so let's see here, move some stuff. Okay, so there's just a little black right there after I got more taken off. And so I thought I would check it out a little more, and I found there was more even. See there? Hidden underneath there? Like so. And then, so I took off a little more. Well, look, then I find a whole deep patch. See, anytime you can see dirt or black under something, you need to follow it out. And so that's why I took these pictures, because I thought that was interesting that, see, I had taken the bars down pretty good the time before, and the heels expanded and the whole, see, what's happening is all this is getting wrapped up in here and it's pushing that frog forward. And so, and you get that cleavage between the bulbs. You know, when those bulbs come together, like you saw on the one horse with the really super contracted heels, how this hair was clear up in here. And when this all comes out, you'll even be seeing some of the hairline come out, you know? And so what I'm wanting is I'm wanting my heels to come uncurled, and I'm wanting all of this back here to come out. And I don't want a bunch of indentation like way in here, like so. I want this to be fuller back here. I want these bulbs unwrapped. And so the whole frog has to move to do that. And something I realized on him was that not only, see, when all of this anatomy gets pushed up this well, what's it doing to the frog corium? It's forcing it forward. And on him, what it did was it bent the frog corium, made it wider over here and kind of scrunched it over this way on this one, I noticed. And so I wound up cleaning his frog up, clear down, into this. And for the first time, his whole frog kind of straightened out. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, and then this is a day or so later. I went out and took pictures again. But you see how much I have trimmed that bar over there? Now, this is the side that was trimmed out the most. And so this whole bulb was pulled over this way, and this side of the foot flared out like that. And so I'm going to show you a picture here in a moment of from 2013 on up to today and how much his foot straightened out when I started trimming these bars back more. Back like just down shorter to here. Even this side came in more. And so over a couple days time, I took different pictures here to see what was going on, but they turned out blurry. That irritates me so bad. So, okay, so I got a comparison picture I'm going to show you. You're going to see the frog, how the frog is straightened out and how this area here is not as turned in, and his heels weren't as turned in either. Just a minute here. I'll go find a comparison photo. Oops. Hmm. Okay, this will work. New share. Okay. This is 2013. And so you're trimming the heels out. You're trimming the heels out. Now, remember I said he was a horse that liked to make heel all the time. So I would try and get that 30-degree hairline on him, but his bulbs always wanted to be up in the air where they're supposed to be. And so he would pull this sidewall around behind. And of course, the bulbs would turn in too. Now you have a frog corium there, right? You have frog corium there. So look at how, as all this got pulled in, how the heels curled in towards the frog here, and how as the foot is getting shoved up into the smaller capsule, how it is bending the frog corium. You see how it pushed it forward, and so it bent out that way, the frog, and it kind of bent in this way. And then look what it did too. As the heels were pulled around, what did it do to the bars? It forced them to curve out like that. You see that? Now, this is what his foot looked like. You can see how rounded the cartilage was here. All this is just being pulled around. Now, you almost wouldn't know because at that time, look how straight the growth ring is. So you're not always going to see a real curved down growth ring. It just depends on what form that foot is taken out. Where we look up here at the cartilage. Like even when I look at this foot, I know that his cartilage is better here, but it's still not quite as shaped as it ought to be. And of course here it curled back in. You see, until you get these where they're supposed to be, they'll just go back and forth till that frog is in the right spot. And okay, now look at the frog here. Okay. Now this is just here before this trim here. Okay. Look, he's still got, I didn't realize it because I didn't realize the frog was bent sideways. See, you're shoving that frog corium up, right? It's got to go somewhere, right? In his case, it bent over to the side there. And so it's still bent. I was looking at it the other day. I went, oh my gosh, it was still bent. So it made it fill this side up, but it would be kind of hollowish on this side. So okay, so I'm taking off more bar than I really have before because I've been seeing I'm still trimming to bar distortion. And so this whole frog has to come back and straighten out. Well, this last time it did a lot. And I just want you to see the difference. See how curled the heel is in here and here? But look how much of it has come out. And look, it opened up a piece of sole here that's been covered up by bar, by distorted bar. Because see, this side of the foot is pushed out that way. Well, as you trim the heels out, what happens? They move forward and it pulled this side out and then it curled the heel in and just made the smaller hoof capsule. But what I started seeing here is that his frog corium now is starting to straighten out and that bend is coming out of it. Can you see that? The difference in the frog here? I mean, see how smooshed it is? Now, do you understand what I mean when I say that these feet are being compressed and bent? All the anatomy is being pulled down, curled in, shoved into a smaller hoof capsule, right? So you have, let me get a picture here. Just a minute here. New share. So you have, hold on. Let me get a good picture of frog corium so you can get the image in your head here. Just a minute here. Oh, come on. Oh, well, yeah, a second. Pictures, inner foot. Okay. Okay. New share. Okay, so here's your foot. This is what your frog is supposed to look like. You see the way it's shaped? But, you know, this is all cartilage and fat and movable, right? So if I take this part of the foot and I shove it forward, where's all this stuff in front of it go? You know, just a minute. If I take this and I shove it forward, what's this going to do? Well, in my case, for that foot, it bent the frog corium over this way and bent this side over that way. It bent it both sides over this way as it shoved it forward. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it could do a deal too where it bent this side outward and that side outward. Or it could do a deal where when I'm pushing it forward, both sides bent over this way. Well, then your frog is going to grow that way. See? And your heels here, they're bent and curled in this way. that's the way you're going to see your heels curling in like this. And so and you see this part here. Okay, that can get all real curled into here. And again, it's shoving everything forward and out of place. But then usually you're trimming it to look like it's normal when it's not normal at all. And so you won't see that curve in it necessarily. When you look at this foot right here, just a minute, right here, this is when I was just really, really trimming the heels out in a serious way. And so you see my sole used to be gray. Now it's white because it destroys the pigment, that pressure and everything. And now you see how the frog is curled out, pushed out this way, and it shoved it, like when it shoved it forward, it made this side bend in that way and that side bend out that way. And so when I was looking at it here, however it was, okay, so this was done the 9th. Okay, so when I was looking, this was 9/20. Okay, so that, all right, so this is a month or so even before this one. So you see how much more the heels are curled in here. And the frog over to the side. And so I had taken that bar down more, and that is when the whole frog, in between 9/20 and 11/9, the frog came loose and started growing a new frog underneath. The heels came uncurled. Like look at right here. You see how it's less? I mean, do you see how it's less over here? Do you see how my frog is straighter than it was over here? It's still curled right here, clear from 2013 when I trimmed the heels out and it made the capsule smaller and it scrunched up that frog corium. So anyway, am I making myself clear? See, this whole foot shifted when these
Linda,
heels came curled. Yeah.
in my case, in Benenitra's case, the frog curled outwards.
On both sides?
No, not sideways. It didn't grow. The lateral grooves became very deep. And
Okay.
when I began to take off chunks of hoofs in all ways, in the lateral and in the medial way, it showed me that the lateral grooves showed a big chunk of bar which was underneath the frog.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I could see why that could happen.
It was curled inside. How can I explain it? Inside out. I mean, there was a big chunk of frog coming out, which was not normal.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
It was at the correct position, but big chunks of frog came towards outside.
Okay.
It didn't curve laterally. It curved outwards.
Okay.
So I think that frogs can do whatever.
Yeah, whatever. No kidding. Yeah, it just depends
Because
on
of
however it
course
gets
my
shoved.
heels were contracted and they didn't permit the frog to expand sideways. So it came outwards.
Okay. I see what you're saying. It could go inward. You know, it could,
Yes.
yeah, it just depends. You know, it's going to go somewhere. And so, Just depends on that particular foot, which way the anatomy is going to get shoved in somewhere.
Yes, that is explainable now because they have a certain space to go.
Yeah.
If you squeeze them, they go where they can find the way.
Yeah. Take the path of whatever's the least resistance, you might say.
Yes.
Yep. Anyway, this is so this is what we're doing. Like, I found this to be very interesting that I didn't even realize when I did not realize that my frog was bent like that till just a few weeks ago. But look how it's coming out. See, it's basically almost out of this side completely, and it's still just a little bit kind of right there. And what I really liked was how it opened up this piece of sole here. But okay, look at how curled that is. And now less. See, longer, it gets longer from here back to here as well. So, because all this is coming out this way, see? And these bulbs that were way up in here, they're coming out this way as well. Who would think these feet would do this? But obviously that foot's going somewhere. When we look at that one horse that was so contracted. Let's see here. Let me undo all this. Okay.
Giovanni.
This is why we should always keep in mind the inner foot, the correct inner foot.
Yeah.
If you close your eyes and you have the image of the correct inner foot, you can adapt your trims.
Yeah, well, and like I was thinking when I trimmed this frog and all that black stuff came out and there was this frog under it. Okay, so this is the way the frog was. And then I showed you the pictures of let's see, of those black lines in there and how that big chunk came off the side of it. Well, this is what came off, was this old deformed frog here when these bulbs expanded and the heels kind of uncurled there. The frog corium itself moved. And so and see, that's why we gotta trim frogs and stuff like we do, because you want that frog to move, because otherwise it's just going to bind your foot right there. Wherever the frog is, that's where your foot is staying. That's why we got to keep these frogs fresh and moving. And I think even the apex of my frog moved back some as well. And I was also noticing in this trim here, this last one, how well, okay, so we know that these bars have as many layers as the hoof wall, right? And so when you'll see the very outer layer of hoof wall, and it goes into the lamina, which is the white line, which is really yellow, where the sole and wall merge, right? Well, same with the bars down here. And what I saw for me was that, I'm always talking about you don't want to trim to the distortion of the bar. But what I found was I was still trimming to the distortion of the bar. And because as the heels were wanting to move, I had not been moving or trimming enough bar off here. As a result, what will happen is you've got, okay, so you got your external layer, which is pigmented, but then it gets wider, and then it gets to your lamina, layer, and the very inner part of that is very white. Well, what can happen is that layer can just start to grow over the sole, and you don't know, you think it's sole, when it's really that inner layer of bar is growing over the sole. And so when I was trimming this foot, I was moving some of this, and I was finding some of these pigmented marks underneath it. Like, look right here. You can see it right here. You can just barely see a little pigmented there. Notice how there's more over here. Can you see that? How you can see more of it? And I'm pretty sure that if I would have taken some more of this white off, I'd have found some more pigmented. You know what that tells me? That tells me that this is a layer of bar that that I didn't get trimmed back enough, that has just decided to grow and smoosh over the sole here. Okay, and that's probably what's going on. Well, look over here too. Did it over here. See how that's all creamy, smooth looking over that? Look how much clearer it is over on this side. Look at over here. Now I'm really seeing it. Okay, look at it right here. Okay, this means I have been letting a layer of inner bar smoosh over my sole right here. So
Linda,
yeah.
sorry. So would you say it's good practice to take down the bars every time?
Well, I think we should experiment and see. You know, I mean, that's what I've been learning myself. That even though I knew way before I was trimming to distortion of bar, I found myself trimming to the distortion of bar, not realizing my bars were that this bar had smoothed all over the sole here. See, so yeah, because you think about it, that's going to hold your heels right where they're at, just like old frog and stuff in here. And if you don't be getting back that apex, it's more than just finding your toe length. That's going to hold your whole foot forward too, because you see, let's see, new share. Let's go back to this again. So you would want this foot totally relaxed and all the corium totally where it's supposed to be, and then it would grow the hoof capsule, and at once this frog grows on here, well, it just stabilizes that foot right to that capsule right there. See, especially once that frog grows in that central sulcus of the frog corium here. That's where everything's going to be. It's going to be right there. Once those bars are right here, that's it. They're just going to hold everything right there. And so if everything gets bent out of place and that stuff is merging and smooshing onto everything else, then it's just going to hold everything right there. See? So, like I was saying, like with my frog, when all this got pushed forward, this piece of the corium here got pushed forward. This piece got pushed up here. Well, then what happened to this part? It got shoved over here like that. And this part got kind of shoved like that. And that's why it's growing that funky looking frog. But I never realized it was funky like that. Because this part of the frog could grow clear out to here. And then if you had this part that was growing here, you wouldn't notice it. Because you got excess growth here, and you're trimming it normal, but you don't know your actual frog corium's bent and your bulbs are all wrapped into your foot like this, because it just grows a nice old frog over the whole thing that hides it and holds it and binds it right there. And then of course you're your bars are all bent up into the foot, but they've been being trimmed like they were normal, and so you'd think it should be right here, but in reality, it's supposed to end, in a different way somewhere else. And of course it can grow a layer over this area here and everything like that. See, just learning all this stuff, how this stuff grows over stuff and gets merged, and trying to figure out, what should I be releasing and what not, because there were so many taboos. Don't trim the bars, don't trim the frog, don't trim the toe callus, right? Anybody know about all those? So it takes some time to get over that stuff, even for me, and to recognize it's even going on. Like, I had no idea that I was, even though I knew about, how you could wind up trimming to the distortion of bars, I just didn't realize that that's what I'd been doing here. And here's another thing too. Now, and I'm looking at this now, it looks like right here that actually some grew even more over that part. Do you see what I'm saying here? How these lines are looking different? So I'm wondering, if I was to take off more here, would I find more gray, black going in further into here? Probably, because look at that one.
Share, Linda?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. There you go. What amazed me too was when the heels changed shape and the frog, it changed the shape of the toe as well. It changed this. I've never seen it act like that before. It's like this all pulled back, and his crack there got wider in a way, but I think in the long run it's a good thing, because that means this whole toe is going to have to come back over this way. Because see, okay, when this heel got shoved forward over here, all the horn tubules kind of tweaked over sideways this way. So if this gets pulled back, look how it made that gap bigger. So that means all this will come back now this way. So all of this has moved. Everything moved. The frog moved, the heels moved, da. So I need to go out and let's see, that was the 9th. 11/9? Yeah, that was the 9th. Gosh, it's been that long since I looked at that foot. But anyway, I did look at that foot after that. I think I was showing you that. Let me see. I think, oh, well, yeah. Looky here. His heels are even less curled in. New share here. See there? This is when were you? This is 11/15. So the one you were looking at was on the 9th. Let me put these pictures together here. Just a second here. I'll put these two together so you can see how in 5 days it even changed. The heels coming uncurled. Just a minute. Oops. Hold on. Okay. I think I got it. Hold on. Take a picture of this. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, new share. Okay, Now, do you see how the heels came uncurled even more over here, how the frog has straightened up even more in this foot here? Yeah. See, look. Oh, well, wait. I want to do annotate because I don't want to mark on that. Let's see. There we go. Let's do red. Okay, so here's the heel. Shows you how curled it in it is. And here it is. Here it is more so. Let's see. Can you see how it's coming uncurled? And here you see the frog is still bent over that way. Still a little bit over that way, but much less here. Anyway, I think that's pretty interesting. Okay. Anybody got any comments or anything? Oh, we're gonna look at Dolly's foot. Let's see. See, you're just looking for little changes. You see what I'm saying? So the inner foot has to be able to change position to be able to grow the capsule from a better spot. And so as these bulbs come uncurled, and see, this is the thing I noticed too. So on when I trimmed this frog, I found it very interesting that it was so narrow. You know, I was like, is that right? And then I remembered when I first started trimming Chester, the wild horse, I thought it was interesting that he had a very narrow frog. He didn't have contracted heels at all, but he had a very strangely narrow frog. And and so then when I trimmed this up and I saw this frog, I thought, huh, that's looking like Chester's frog. You know, Chester is our wild horse, adopted wild horse mascot. And so now I'm seeing, well, Valor's frog is also getting narrow, but and not that you won't, you know, after all is said and done, you're gonna grow, you know, your frog in wholly whatever and stuff, probably be a little more wider than that. But it just looked completely different to me. And so if we were to then go, just a minute here, if we were to then go and go, oh, now where is that picture? Just a second here. Hope I didn't close that. This minute. Let me get this out of here. Okay. New share. Oh. Well, I was gonna go. Oh. Just a second here. New share. Okay, look at the frog aquarium here. It's not wide, is it? You know, and the foot has not contracted or anything. But here you're looking at a normal frog aquarium. You know, it's not really super wide. And so it was like for the first time it was dawning on me what a real frog is supposed to look like. All right? In more than one way. Also what the central sulcus is supposed to look like. We're always looking at the central sulcus up here. Well, the only reason we're looking at it up here is because it's been shoved up there. See, most of the frogs we look at are distorted and deformed. This frog Okay. This frog stay is all the frog stay is the frog that grows between the bulbs. That's what it is. It's just, see, here's your bulb, here's your bulb. Just grows between the bulbs. Let's look at this here. Gotta look at some of these. See, just the frog that grows between the bulbs. And so that central sulcus is not supposed to be up here. It's back here. It's an L-shaped thing in the back of the foot that grows between the bulbs. And the frog is much narrower. Of course, when you get all your frog grown in, it's going to look wider and stuff like that. But, I mean, that piece of frog grows in there. See? Anyway, so just I've been learning some things and just trying to figure out some things about, this, because again, yeah, we can have the picture of this in our head, but then putting it all together once the capsule grows on there and how the capsule is to look, and just trying to figure out some of these things, see, all these things are details that we can learn that are going to help us in the long run. Notice little details, okay, so I was going to go, let's see. All right, so is it just me, or can you see what I see at all?
Yeah, I can see it.
Does it looks to me like this side of the foot is narrowing up, like, because it was much wider. Like,
On new share.
oh, okay. Right there. It looks to me like this foot is changing a lot here. And see, again, this foot would be shoved forward. What's it going to do? It's going to distort your heels, curl them around in there. So I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing here. And so the big change came for me in trimming these bars. You see how I got them trimmed down here? Okay. I've been doing that for about 2 months, trimming them down like that. And I believe, and trimming your frog too, but I do believe that is what allowed this foot these heels to start changing like this, and the foot to unwrapping more. So a lot of this stuff we're going to learn. We're going to find out the future that if we'd have just done this a little more, it would have shaved 2 years off what we were trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as I would leave any distortion bar covering this, it's going to bind those heels. It could bind it from now to eternity, you see. But then we have this situation too, to where we're also wanting to be careful. We don't want to overdo things and then just have our foot plump, But I don't think that you can too much overdo the bar issue here. The periopal is still holding everything together. And you've still got your frog, but do you see how that foot can move internally and you would still have the old foot outside, except for the bar issue. Very rarely do they come unhinged from them bars, unless you have just totally released the periopal and it's totally wet and the foot just went poof, Anyway, this is where I'm at in my journey of learning and getting this stuff figured out. So,
Linda?
Yeah.
As long as we're talking about trimming bars, it's been probably a year, give or take. I had read on one of the other hoof trimming sites on trimming bars, you know how that lays over the sole, and then if you trim it off, the sole is thin and tender.
Mm-hmm.
They said to just trim all the way straight through the wall on the bar where it's supposed to be, on the mapping line. Just trim through, and it cuts off the root, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And you can leave the stuff that's on the sole. It will flake off as it gets ready to flake off, but you have cut off the root of it, like we talked about cutting off the root on that
Yeah.
periopal thing.
Yeah.
So you trim it so it's trimmed, but you don't have to take all the stuff off the sole, so you're still protecting the sole while you are keeping your bar in line. I haven't done that yet, but in theory.
Yeah, I think there's like a balance and all that. Because these feet can retain that sole anyway.
Yeah.
So that it would never come off. So I just think I explore a little, I like you can see right here. See right there, that little pinkish area? Am I showing you the right foot? Wait a minute. New share. Let me go over here. Okay. You see this little area right here?
Which foot are you on?
The center foot. Just a minute. I'll do it. Annotate. I don't want to draw on it. Okay. You see this little area right here?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. See how you see that light pink in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that area was very soft because this bar had been growing over it like that. See? And so I had undone that. So I didn't want to go any more than that. So I just kind of left it. But I also was realizing at the same time, and it was dawning on me that, and over here you can see that some has grown in. It's still discolored right there, but I was able to take more off. This is a 15th. Okay. This is the 15th. That was the 9th. So 6 days later, I wanted to come in and take a little more of this off here because I was still feeling like I had stuff smooshing over the sole. So I just think that I think that's a good idea. But I also think that there comes a time when you just are going to have to take a little off here and there. You understand?
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So, okay. Oops. Wait a minute. Annotate. Clear all drawings. Okay. Well, anyway, let's look at Dolly's foot. We're going to look at there. Okay. So anybody got any comments about any of that? Anything they want to share?
Yes, Linda, I've sent you 2 photos exactly in this matter. Do you
Okay.
remember? I've sent you now again the photo where exactly at the same spot I had some blood coming out. And 3 days later is the next photo.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about this.
Okay. Let's see here. Where am I at and what am I doing? That's the story of my life. Oh, yep, I see it. Let's see. New share. New share. Oh, you got way back there in the seat of the corn, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Just a minute. Okay, where am I at? Oh, wait. I'm lost. Okay, new screen share. Okay. Yeah, because if you can see where your heels are curled in. I mean, look at how your bulbs are curled in there like mine were, right?
I think you hit your mic, Linda. We can't hear you.
Oh. No, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, it's same thing with my horse out. His bulbs were pulled in clear into here. and the heels curled in like so. And so the bar and all that has been covering up this area of the sole for a long time. And so as you start removing bar and these things start unfolding, it's going to open up and you're going to find that the sole is very thin here.
Yes. And the last photo, not this one, the last photo is 3 days later.
Okay. Let's see here. I didn't get it. You might want to send it again.
Yes, I will. Just a moment. Because it shows that everything goes to the right place. Here you are. I did it.
Okay. Yeah. See, it'll start to grow. It grows in. That wasn't a very big spot, but it was very thin. Very thin there, you can tell. Let's see. New share. Yeah, really filled in on one side. Let's see. New share.
We have it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, it filled in and it'll heal up and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be thin in the back of that foot as it's uncurling because that sole's been covered up by them bars and things for a long time. And look, I would say all this is that same bar stuff, wouldn't you?
Yes, it was, but I cannot go all the way down at once.
No, no, not
So
at all.
I go lightly. I take off a very light, a very small, thin
Yeah, that
piece.
looks like the white line of the bar smooshing over the sole, and probably you could tell more in yours because her soles look like they've retained more of the gray than Valor's, whereas his soles are so white. If this stuff goes over them, you don't know that's what's going on.
And I do a little bit of bars, a little bit of frog, a little bit of heels, a little bit of everything, but very often.
Yeah. We'll get to recognize this more and more and start to understand what we can take and what we can't. And, it'd be different if you had your horse in boots. If it got a little thin, there was a time when his heels really opened up and really opened up that area back there. And man, he just really had some thin sole in here. Well, then I had like a boot that I put on him with the pad, for 4 or 5 days to let that sole
Yes,
grow
I know, but now it's the raining season here in Greece.
Yeah, so you can't. Yep.
And I'm concerned because her hoofs are very soft now, and maybe she walks on her heels again. So I have to decide if to put DIM and keep her because I don't want to keep her more wet than she's already.
Yeah.
But she's doing very well, very, very well. So you don't have to. I don't know who was Janet who was asking about the corn of the seat.
I'm not sure either. Let's see. Okay, so we'll look at that picture of Marilyn's.
They don't have to worry about. They don't want have to worry about because even if it's a tad more than you should do, it comes back.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you have a broken nail somehow.
Yeah, it's not a big area. And it'll get packed
Yeah.
in with mud as well. So
Linda, the picture just before that one is the one from last spring when it was falling off, coming off.
okay.
This is the current one.
Let's see here. Let me close some things. Okay. I don't know why this thing is not wanting to work for me. Just a minute. Open in Messenger. Try it here. Okay. Let's see. New share. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So you
Eventually,
see,
that whole frog came off.
yeah. Okay. So you see what I was talking about here? Wait a minute. Okay. So you see the layers. You see, here's the old frog. Here's another frog growing right here. See it?
Oh yeah.
Got a whole other frog. So you would have one up here, one here, and one here. That's
right in the middle, there's a hole. That dark spot is a hole. And when I ran Thrushbuster in the back, it ran out of the front.
aha, see? See, so that's what I was seeing might be going on. Let's see if I can find that foot. Just a second. Just a second. Oh, come here. Where are you? Oh,
With my horse, Sabine.
that might be going on here. You see what I'm saying?
Looks like
Yes.
it could be.
Yeah. And especially looking at that other picture of the foot on the ground where you could see the three different layers there, but like look, you got one here. Look, yeah, look at the cracks going in here. Wait a minute. Let me get this. Save image as. Now take a picture of these together. Wow, this is a great picture to really God. Okay, let's put that one there and get the other one out here.
Linda, I've
Yeah.
never seen these hairs before in the frog. So I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I can't trim, I have to take a picture.
Yeah.
And you see the two dots or the holes in the back, like on the left and on the right side in the groove.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also shows something going on. So I would take this off and keep you updated.
Here, I'll send you a picture of this foot here. Okay, now we're going to look to see new share. Okay. Okay, and now looking too, I'm seeing too. Now, see, I've seen these holes before in Valor when his frog is doing something, you know? And so, see, she would have seen these holes right here. Now, right here. Oh, now I was seeing it right in here. Let me do a annotate. Right here is a crack, and there's a crack there. Okay, so that means that this is wrapped up in there like that. And this here is this is just all I think this is periopal that was growing from here. And now it's been stretched because see the periopal is all tubules as well. When it gets right down to the brass tacks of the periopal, even though it looks like skin, it's all composed of tubules. And so that's all periopal, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah, this is starting to look a lot like you know, I just gonna say I think you could take off some frog here. You're gonna find out you're gonna have another frog growing under here and stuff. Yeah, which is Do you have a picture of this foot before this?
I might.
Okay, that'd be interesting to see right here.
Give me a minute. I'll see if I can find it.
Okay. And just a minute. Let's see. Let's undo this here. Drawings. Here, I'll save this file. Save as. We're just gonna put frog. Frog. What name should I give you? Bullfrog. How do you spell faux? F-E-U-X? Oh, frog.
F-A-U-X.
Okay. Let's see. We'll just call you faux frog. There we go. Okay, I want especially to have another. Okay, I'm going to take a copy of this, close it out, and I'm going to go down here and send this to Sabine. Come on. Okay, I sent that to you, and there was this other picture. Okay, here we go. This one here. Let's see. New share.
I just sent 2 pictures from about a month before the one that we were looking at.
Okay. Okay, so this is the one especially where I was thinking you might have several frogs that grew here as the foot was raising, okay, and expanding and stuff. It would come a little bit loose from its original frog down here and then start growing another one right here. The foot moved again, okay, and came loose from that. It started growing another one here. Do you see what I'm saying? And now it's come loose again, and it is growing another one here. So you very well could have where as the foot moved up and pulled away from the old frog, it started growing a new one, and periopal as well. See? Because it really looks like the back of this foot has raised up here. And like you've got several different places where it started growing periopal from a new position. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me do this here. Okay, so I'm just
I sent 4 pictures, Linda.
Oh, okay. Let's go look at those here. Let me get a picture of that one first. Okay, where'd I go? Oh, yeah. See, they look weird. They just have this weird look to them. Let's see, new share. Okay. Yeah, see, you see this foot is actually raising here, and you see how weird stretched it looks there? How weird that looks? It's coming unhooked from this frog here and pulling up. And then it'll start to grow another one underneath. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see. Oh my, yeah. Yep, let's see, new share. Yeah. Now see, you wouldn't know that other frog was under there, would you? Let me get this up here and do. I want to show these side by side. That will look really good. Save image as. This is a great example. Let's see. Put that one there and find this one here. Oh, yeah, this is going to be an awesome example. Oops. Ha! Oh, yeah, this is awesome, Marilyn. This will really help everybody see what you're not seeing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See what's often behind the stuff that we're seeing that we don't even know it's there. New share. Okay. There you go. Look at that. See, that was going on the whole time. And
That was
wouldn't
about
even,
6 weeks between those two pictures.
yeah. See? Wow. So you see how this old frog could hold that foot right there? See, because this should not even look like this at all. These bulbs are wrapped in here. And this is got your periopal frog, see? And this would have been periopal. It's just covering this whole gap here. Instead of being full of frog, it's full of periopal frog. That is an awesome picture.
There's also a current picture from last week too.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look at that. Just a minute. Go back. Save as full frog 2. Let's see here. And okay, hold on a second, because I'm gonna send that. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Oh. Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, what a change. Let's see here. Open. Let's see, save images. Oh no, that's 4/13/23 I'm looking at. You say you have one from last week?
Yeah, it would have been the second picture I sent you, so it's probably up higher in the messenger. 11/16.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, just looking at all of these is great. Let's see here. 4/13. Let's see, what was the date on those ones we just did? Was that on there?
May 31st. May 31st was after it was trimmed. I think it was April 3rd was the oldest one. And then 11, I think it's 11/16 would be the most current one.
Okay, because that's pretty neat. Let's see. Just seeing how you don't even know what even is under there sometimes.
New share.
You know? Okay, just a second. Let's see here. So that's 11/16/23. This is 5/31/23. Just to see the difference in what happens. Just a minute. I got to take a copy of this. New share. Okay, there we go. So And look, your frog looks healthy, even if I'm sure some of it is also periopal, whatever. You know, it seems to be it's able to make a combination. It's so weird the way it happens. But
I
wow,
noticed on the back there's another little tiny crack coming. I wonder if there's going to be another layer that comes off. And
yeah,
why aren't the other 3 feet doing it? Why just this one?
I don't know. Maybe because maybe it's there, but you're not seeing it because it's got a full frog on top of it.
It could be, but this is also her only white foot.
Oh, okay. There we go. Huh. Well, learning this, studying this, um, you could also start looking at them other feet to see if maybe there's something going on there you're not seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Hey, well, looks good. Very interesting. Well, we'll put this under full frog too. Just the different things that can be going on underneath these frogs and you're not even realizing it, you know? Let's see here. Where am I at? And what am I doing? Save as full frog 3. FA.
Linda, in this
Yeah,
photo, I think that the bars are broken from the heels
right here.
at the where the heel ends and the yes. You see, maybe Marilyn should take
Right.
the bars a little bit further down.
Yeah.
I had planned to do it that day, but they were so hard I couldn't get a knife into them.
Aha.
Oh, I see. I know what you're saying.
Yep. Yep. Marilyn, I would continue to trim bars and frogs for your trimmer and just not say anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
she notices, but that's okay.
Okay. Ah,
But I've had to retire my rasp. I had to swear on a stack of Bibles that I won't be rasping her feet.
won't be rasping. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, it's looking good, you know.
I'm actually very satisfied with what she's doing.
That's great.
She's managed to get Dolly's toes back when I tried 5 years and couldn't. So
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah,
far
that's
so good.
wonderful. That's wonderful. That's going to help the whole foot, you know? So, yeah, it's interesting the way this periopal can grow over the whole frog corium. See? That would be the frog corium under there with a layer over it of cornified frog corium and then the periopal on top of it.
It's just a
And
fine line. It's how much do you shave off and how much
oh
you
man,
leave,
I know.
and it's just yikes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay,
Bless you.
okay. I think does anybody else have anything they want to add or talk about or don't be shy.
Linda, I've
Yeah.
sent you photos of another horse, a foal that we are now taking care of.
Okay.
And I want to show all the people here what we are doing in TACT.
Okay.
This had an accident and he's walking on the top, on the toe wall, always.
Okay.
And now he began to put his whole hoof down slowly because it was, he was lame. And now he's getting better and better and better every week.
Oh, great. Let's see.
Just to see how we help horses here.
Yeah. Let's see. Screen share. Okay, I had that picture.
I think your mic has moved again, Linda.
Oh. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay, just a second.
And then I go to sleep because I had 2 colics in 6 days.
Oh man.
Yes.
From
I had,
your filly, your young mare?
yes, my filly had another one, a very
Oh
light
no.
one,
Oh
thank
no.
God. And I finished today. Today she's okay. She ate what she had to eat, and she's feeling better. But I am, I'm speaking from the land of the dead myself.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I
Yeah.
hope everything turns out well.
Well, I had to walk something like 9 hours per day and night.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's his hoof. This is
Okay.
how it. No, not that.
Not that one.
Go the other way. Yes.
Yeah, I can understand how that could be. And what when when I was talking earlier and I said, the way these feet uh distort and become hoof bound, like
Yes.
this one looks like it just stayed wide and then
Yes.
pulled under and wide and bound that foot underneath. You can see why mechanically that would do exactly what you're seeing here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And now see, he's trying to put his hoof down. And when he doesn't think about it, he puts the whole hoof on the sole.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
see
'cause
how his joint was puffy and hurt.
wow. And is this just 1 foot or
1 foot, 1 foot.
okay? Yeah, and I mean, look how wide the frog is.
Yes.
See how
We're
wide
working on this.
pushed forward the frog is.
Yes.
You know,
And he was walking on his wall, on the toe wall, and his foot, his hoof was round.
yeah,
Now we have to take it. You see,
yeah, yeah. I
we
sure
started
do.
from here,
Yeah.
and we are here now.
Well, good.
A lot of work to do, but he's
Yeah,
feeling much, much better.
I bet. I bet. Well,
He's moving and he's playing with another foal. And when he doesn't think about his hoof,
now
now he steps
how old is he?
less than a year.
Okay. So I was saying how their frog has to wear off. That
Yeah.
frog has to wear off, or this is what can happen. Because that's all that happened is he just grew a big, thick, fat frog, and then as his foot grew, the back of the foot could not expand out of the hoof capsule and grow a bigger hoof capsule. See?
And you see the central sulcus, how in front it is.
Yeah. Yep.
It arrives almost at the apex of the frog.
Yeah. And I think you could take off more bar here next
Yes,
time.
yes, I will. Yes, yes, we will.
Okay. And yeah, really, definitely those frogs.
Yeah.
Well, looks great. Looks great. You're
But
doing a
the
good job.
person who's doing it, because I don't trim myself,
Oh,
she's
okay.
far away.
Okay, I
And
see.
she's learning tact now, and
Good.
she's afraid of doing whatever I say, so
Oh,
we
sure,
go
I
slowly.
understand. I totally understand. Well,
Yeah.
well, good. Hopefully, as she gets going, she'll get braver and braver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, she did the Strasser for many years.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, that
now
explains it.
she understood the difference, and she said, "Oh my God, what have I done to horses?"
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you're able to get through to her.
Well, I wanted all the girls to see that, so
Yeah.
we can take a small satisfaction of what
Oh,
we're doing.
absolutely. For sure. This is awesome
Yeah.
to be able to help these horses, you know. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Linda. Thank you.
Well,
Really.
I love you
Thank
much. You're a
you
wonderful
so
woman.
much.
All of you are wonderful. And very grateful for you. Very grateful for your commitment and contribution to this project we are in together. Okay, well, I guess I'll let everybody go. I'm gonna stop share here, and we'll see y'all next week.
Oh, we won't. You said February.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, okay. Never
Although
mind.
No, I couldn't come next week anyhow because the farrier is going to be at the barn.
Okay. Well, okay, so this will be our last session till next year. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, Christmas, and everybody, God be with you and God watch over you. And we'll be talking to you. Okay.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, everyone.
Be
Bye.
strong for us.
I will. We'll be
Thank
strong
you.
for each other. Okay. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's see. I gotta stop the